he said it with such simplicity, and he would come and he would say, "Ma'am." And I'd be like, "Oh, Sharat ji, please, sir, don't aise mat boliye." But he's just such a old world, charming, wonderful, and he would say, "Ji." Yes. Ji. And that's just how he was.
And I believe you spoiler actors a lot. Did he spoil you guys?
Yes, he did.
Like,
Yeah.
khana pina to hona chahiye. I don't know. I believe in. The other day, I met somebody, and an actor, and she said that who I didn't know, and I met her for the first time at the premiere. She was invited by Vijay. So she said to me that, "Oh, I've never seen a producer stand at the premiere, and I have to tell you the premiere timing was 8. I was there at 6 o'clock. Likewise, yesterday we had our first screening, and I was the first to be there. But that's the person I am. Whether it's my house, whether it's my work, whether it's the shooting, I'm always the first person."
So, Manish, when are you going to direct?
Ooh.
You have such a fine sensibility of, motion picture making. You're producing all these wonderful films. When are you going to take on that baton?
I don't know. That's been my dream part since the age of 19,
Wow.
20, and but I guess it's your life has your own path. So if this has happened, that will happen too.
So 12th of December, Saali Mohabbat releases on Z5. From me, Hrishi K, everybody who's watching, listening, Tisca and Divyendu are regulars on my show. Radhika, fairly regular, ever since she's moved abroad, lesser so. But the real star of this interview is Manish Malhotra.
Oh,
So big round of applause, all of us.
Oh wow!
For you.
Thank you so much.
I've had the good fortune of seeing both Gustakh Ishq and this one, a preview that was shown to us. And my logical question is, why didn't you think of doing this before? I mean, there is a adage saying, "Der hai durust hai," which is fine, but you have deprived a whole generation of film lovers this type of cinema, which you could have created a lot of over the last 20 years. Why the delay?
But as they say that things only happen when they're meant to happen. I actually, in fact, when I used to model and I was working in a boutique and learning to sketch and all of that at that time, I'm talking about what, 1988, 89. I don't know whether you were born, but at that time I was.
All of a sudden, I'm very flattered.
Of course, that's the
This is
idea.
my 31st year in radio.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Yeah, he was also working then.
You were born.
Thank you.
So at
man.
that time I thought of film direction actually, but I just felt that I think design had a more comfort because at then movies were so different. And then once I stepped into the industry, it's been so much of work.
Yeah.
And I've done more than 500 films, I think, more than maybe 700 films as a costume designer, Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, of course, mostly and majorly Hindi. वो time ही नहीं मिला. It was during COVID where I got time and I said, I have to do something for myself. And that would be producing films. And then, of course, the whole thing was whether I would do a film on fashion, whether I would do a film on glamour, what I'm known for, like Yash Chopra is my most favorite director. But that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy Shyam Benegal, Bimal Roy, Basu Chatterjee's simple films, Hrishi K Mukherjee's films, which I absolutely love, Gulzar Saab's films. So, it was a question in my mind, what kind of journey? And I thought it would be interesting to start something that people don't expect out of me, maybe start a bit more intimate and then hopefully grow.
I'm actually named after Rishikesh Mukherjee, you know that? Rishikesh.
Really?
Have you ever seen a South Indian with a name HRISHIKESH?
Wow, no, but...
You should have asked me that earlier.
Wow.
So my father, because, we grew up in Calcutta, was a massive fan of Rishida's movies. And then obviously the extended family was very scandalized. This is a Tamil Brahmin boy, you're naming him Rishikesh. But the name is stuck and I'm very proud of it.
Oh, respect, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the father. Yeah,
father,
What do you mean, yeah?
And I think another thing that happened with me was that I initially thought of a web series and I started, speaking to platforms. But their response to me constantly was, oh, is there going to be Kareena, Aishwarya? So I started thinking that, okay, so they are looking at me, someone who is getting all the actors who I've worked with for many years, who are in and out of my home. I know them very closely. But a production company can't be based on that. It has to be based on its content. And I said, you know what, why don't I look at on a content which is different and doesn't necessarily have my friends or people who I've worked for many years together. and new journey, you form new friends and you form new relationships, and that's the interesting part.
So, Tisca, I mean, like I told you outside before we started this interview, I don't like you, I love you. And we've had conversations on your books, we've had conversations on your acting over the years. But I have to tell you, I loved Rubaru. And I was like, she's just got to be directing features. What I loved about this film, let me tell you, people make thrillers and they make it fast and furious. And then people make poetic movies and they make it excessively slow. And you made a combination of the two, which is a very, very rare thing to do. You know, there are nuances of thriller, motion picture making, and there are nuances of, you know, Tehrao, which is just beautiful. So I'd like you to comment on that.
Firstly, I'd like to comment on what Manish said. He said new friends. What is he talking? I've known you 30 years.
No, I mean,
He
no,
means-
but Radhika and Divyendu are new
Yeah.
friends, and so Vijay and Fatima.
This bears telling. The very first film that I was supposed to do, Manish did the costume for the Mahurat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an orange and black outfit that he made for me, and we sat and he looked at me. He was like, "मेरा दिमाग खाएगी एक outfit के लिए मैं श्रीदेवी के कपड़े बना रहा हूँ ये मेरे लिए." What is she doing? She's like chewing my brain about one outfit, but you know we did that, and the film never got made, but then this one got made. So that's that. So the idea behind Saali Mohabbat, it had several iterations and it was called multiple things, Train from Chaprola, this, that, and now Saali Mohabbat. I narrated the film to Manish, Sanjay, who's co-written it with me and who happens to be my husband. Both of us co-wrote it. We narrated it to Manish, and in 3 minutes, he just went quiet like that. Then he said, we're making it. And from that moment, up till now, I've never seen him take a step back from being there for the film, for doing everything that a film requires. I feel that a film like this is a 3-layered cake. On the first level, it's like a pocketbook which you sell at railway platforms. You know, very spicy, juicy, easy to consume. The second layer is people who like, you know, your Agatha Christie or you know, people who like Sherlock and stuff like that. So there's a, it's not a who done it because you know straight off the bat who's done it, but how done it. So that, and then the last layer is sort of like the idea about the thematic idea. I don't know if this is going to come out after the film comes out.
Yeah.
So is the
But
layer.
don't give spoilers because
Okay.
people might not have seen it. Yeah.
Okay. So the last layer is sort of the soul of the film, which kind of holds everything together within the cosmos. So I like that idea of, you know, having things for everyone. So that you hold back in certain places, and when you have actors like these guys, you just step away, give them the material. It was like watching Rohit and Virat bat with each
that is
other.
a huge compliment.
So sweet. So
Yeah.
sweet.
Considering how
But
they've been
we
batting
thoroughly
last 3
enjoyed the
matches.
cake, let me tell you that. Yeah.
You know, another inseparable part of this story, and I'm not going to give spoilers as to why, but this will pique everybody's curiosity, is apart from the characters in the story, is plants.
Yeah.
And plants play a very strategic part in this story. You'll have to watch it to find out why. I have never seen a motion picture in which plants play this kind of a role. And that must have been fantastic for you guys when you read the script saying, wow, you know.
It's the world's first organic, vegan, eco-friendly film.
Also, I call it
Well
friendly
done.
neighborhood thriller.
Well done. Yeah, so comment on that. I mean, it's difficult without giving spoilers, but maybe just how important plants are, and they can be just as much as Mother Nature can nurture.
Yeah.
Mother Nature, if she gets angry, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's very relevant to today's time also, isn't it? I mean,
It
just
is.
to talk about nature and talk about plants and trees and us constantly underestimating what they are and what they can do. Also, I think so. It's quite a relevant film. But I think plants and gardening and all of that was like a character in the
Yep.
film,
Mm.
you
Yes.
know, and so it was quite a jugalbandi with that. I think in the whole film, isn't it? So there's, and because of that, the film has a kind of stillness, because trees, they're the only thing that doesn't move, as in travel. So just there's a stillness to the whole film, and it's just, as you said so correctly in the beginning, we've been talking about in the previous interviews also, that you expect a thriller to be fast-paced and action, and it's nothing like that. It has very different aesthetics to it, you know, of a combination of her her writing and her idea and her visualization and the plants and Manish's aesthetics also. It's a combination of the two, which is beautiful. There's subtlety, there's nuance. There was nuance in every the clothes I was wearing to the tiniest border, which you might not have noticed, but there was literally nuance there and thought there about what shade and what color to wear, and how many plants and what plants will be in the background to in the foreground, and how do you touch it, and how will her fingers look like, and everything. So there was
the border of the sari also has a very important part to play in the film.
Yeah, it
Which is
really
fantastic,
was.
which again we're not going to tell people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, honestly, I mean, normally, you know, when you're doing, you talk about, there are only 2 films where I've actually discussed colors. One was this, and this other film actually was Sister Midnight, where they were discussing colors. But we talk about kitna ganda hoga, kitna nahi ganda hoga, kya style ke kapde pehni. Yes, I agree. But here it was really to do with who she is. And I think our discussions on clothes also really built the character for me, you know, of who she is and what she's, because she's a simple, quiet woman who thinks everything is fine and everything is happy. But she's a gold medalist in botany.
Yeah.
So she's not an ordinary person, really. And so there is detail to her, you know, which was quite beautiful.
And I found it remarkable, and I want you to comment on this on a co-actor, that Mr. Saxena, who's a mountain of a man, is handling these delicate plants. Which I think is great casting.
Again, credit goes to her. And again, the handling of the whole thing. I still remember there was this particular shot where I come on a bike and I just sort of wo kuch kar rahe hain, this thing, and she continuously kept telling him कि आपको एक तरीके से ही plant को उठाना है और उसको handle करना है. That was very, very important. That shows a lot of, I mean, again, without saying much about the film, is that how important plants, you know, they make a character in the film.
And was Sharatji first choice for that? Wow. It's such a contradiction, isn't it? I mean, his personality and the plants.
He
and
reminded
it's beautiful.
me. Reminded me of. There were 2 parts to that, and this is really like a very sweet story about him. When we spoke about casting him, you know, we didn't know if you know, he would be up for it, because normally he's played these badass guys and, you know, knocking people off with his size and everything. When I narrated the film to him and the script and everything, he started crying.
Wow.
He said, ये किसी ने मेरे को ऐसा सुनाया ही नहीं इसके पहले. ये तो and we both said it at the same time. He's like a Krishna figure. He's like the guy who guides the character through. Then he started crying, then I started crying. And it was like that moment where they're not like howling, but like both of us, our eyes were wet. And then he said it with such simplicity, and he would come and he would say, ma'am. And I'd be like, Sharat ji, please, sir, don't aise mat bole. But he's just such a old world, charming, wonderful, and he would say, ji. Yes, ji. And that's just how he was. And for me, he had to be able to have a certain physicality, because imagine him lifting logs and
he has to do some heavy lifting.
Yes. So that was needed.
To say that Radhika and Divyendu are not stars would be to demean them. They are stars, but they are people who are known for their acting first, and then their star appeal second. And if I look at your first film, that's the way it is. I mean, somebody like a Vijay or a Fatima are known for their acting first, stardom secondary. Conscious choice that you want to work with actors first, considering you know all the stars.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I think first of all, when you cast a film, you've got to be true to the cast. I think you've got to be true to the script. And I think I set out to be starting a production company which backs new voices. And also the fact that it's very true to the script. So you don't have to put in a star just because you want to put in a star, because there will be a misfit. It doesn't generally, and it's not that a star today guarantees a certain box office. And so I felt that, no, these are the characters that really suit the film, and we approached them accordingly. So I never really thought of, like tomorrow when I have a script which requires the so-called stars, I'll go to them for it. So there's nothing, I'm not coming with any kind of baggage. I'm coming with all heart and all passion and true love. And I'm here to make different films. Gustakh Ishq is completely different from Saali Mohabbat, and Saali Mohabbat is completely different from Bantiki. And what I'm producing fourth is also a completely different film from all of these films. So,
and I believe you spoiler actors a lot. Did you spoil you guys?
Yes, he did.
like,
Yeah.
khana pina to hona chahiye. I don't know, I believe in, the other day I met somebody, and an actor, and she said that, who I didn't know, and I met her for the first time at the premiere. She was invited by Vijay. So she said to me that, I've never seen a producer stand at the premiere, and I have to tell you the premiere timing was 8, I was there at 6 o'clock. Likewise, yesterday we had our first screening and I was the first to be there. But that's the person I am, whether it's my house, whether it's my work, whether it's the shooting, I'm always the first person. I believe in that, and I think that's the classy thing to do.
Very inspiring. It's
And
so lovely.
he's too caring, of a person.
Yeah.
He's just everything you can ask in a producer, and he's got that old world charm about the whole thing. It's not just cut to cut, business to business. It's just very humane, with each other.
But I honestly, and Karan and me discuss this a lot because he's also very good with timing. I always feel a busy man has time for everything.
Well
So
said.
I really never understand people coming late.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, because I feel that what could you be doing and what could be more important than your work? And for example, even at my fittings, when I have the model coordinators on the group of the models say it's Manish's show, we have fittings, be on time because he's going to be there first. I mean, that's the way it is, and that's what my production company will stand for.
Well, now that I've established that I love your story, your screenplay, I want to talk about the dialogue writing. The beauty of small town India, whether it's central India, North India, is the zuban, the boli. I love that. Anurag goes, cafe chini machine. So, I mean, there are subtle nuances in dialogue which are the heartbeat of small town India, which is itself a character in the film. Let's talk about how did you, both of you, husband and wife, write the dialogues yourself, or do you have a dialogue writer with you? How did you go about it?
Dialogues, I think mainly I was responsible.
So well done.
I've grown up in Ghaziabad, near Ghaziabad, in Noida. So we had a lot of influence from, and I didn't grow up in India in my early years. So I grew up in Afghanistan, in Kabul.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah, correct.
I was listening a lot to how people are talking and मतलब कि क्या तरीका है express करने का, and इतना मजा है उसमें. There's so much of joy in, the little bit of, he says one line के हम सोचते हैं ब्राह्मणों को खाना खिला दे, ब्राह्मण तो हम भी हैं भैया के, so बोल के जो बात बोली जाए, then उसका कोई मजा नहीं है ना, जो
अनकही बात में
ऐसे में हो जाए.
Correct.
So that is so much more joyful than you enjoy the lutf of the zuban. So I like that.
Journalists keep talking about the chemistry between a male actor and a female actor. But actors of same genders also have fantastic chemistry on screen, even if they don't know each other off screen. I loved it each time when Souraseni and you were together on screen. It's such a beautiful relationship. It starts with great innocence from your side. And even when things go south, and I don't want to get into the reasons why, because that would be a spoiler, the fact that you're still the elder sister and, there is that restraint. And both of you are wonderful actors. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about, it's not often now, of course, it's one industry. You find actors from Kolkata working up north, vice versa. You've done so many films, all parts of the country. So it's so nice for us as an audience to see actors who are normally working in regional cinema now do more and more mainstream stuff or Hindi stuff. So you're working with her.
She's so lovely and she's such a wonderful actor. And she also very sincere. My goodness. Sometimes you see such sincerity, you feel ashamed.
You're sincere.
But
You're the picture of sincerity. Come on.
Yeah.
So Rashni was my casting. I've seen her
Excellent.
in a show there was a show that she'd done called Taj. And I remember we were in a discussion in my office, and the casting director, Weber, I told him, what about that girl? Because we were looking at the test of a few girls. I said, I really like that girl. I'd like to meet her. Why don't we fly her down from Kolkata? I feel she really suits this role. So he said, oh, I know her really well. I actually casted her in Taj. So I said, then why didn't you recommend her? Because she really suits. And then we flew her down. And then she met you. And I was very keen to cast her because I felt she suited the role very much. And I'd seen her work in the Taj.
I have a sneaking suspicion that this film is going to do wonders for her. Also because Divyendu and Radhika have set the bar so high that you see them deliver a great performance, you say, we expect it.
Arre?
Because they've done it so many times.
No,
You guys are so good. I mean,
kidding.
but somebody like her who's not that much seen, and you go, wow, she's sparring with Radhika, she's sparring with Divyendu. These are, great actors. It's really going to
I
work its
hope it
thing
does.
out.
I
Yeah,
really she
I think
deserves
so.
it.
I have a feeling.
I think the most important part of any film is a good script, which is what this film had. And I think what tops that is correct casting.
Always,
that
yeah.
really adds to a film. So yeah, I think we casted it well, I think.
Yeah, very
And
well.
also I find female relationships, for me, because I'm a female, obviously, very interesting. And we don't explore them as much. Like even as a sisters or whatever, I find them, there's a lot of intimacy in those relationships, which is fun to explore, I think.
And also when women get together in Indian cinema, they have to get together for a mission.
Yeah.
Let's go on a biking expedition together.
know.
Let's do this together.
I know.
Why can't women just hang and be, sisters,
Oh,
cousins,
exactly.
whatever?
They need to hang to overthrow patriarchy. It really doesn't need to be that. They can be. So yeah, I think that's a area that I enjoy it. Like I absolutely love to write
You've
about.
done this before in Mirzapur and so many other roles. You can play a tough guy without having your six-pack and your tricep and your bicep. You really look tough, on that Enfield Bullet and getting off and being a plain clothes cop. But it's actually a very layered role.
It is.
Because a guy, I love the relationship with the mother first and foremost. Because it's a typical patriarchal house. The Panditji hai, father is there. But the mother and son have this beautiful thing. And how he reacts to the Dada, which is Anurag. And then, he falls in love.
Yeah.
So there are so many parts to this guy.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about it.
I mean, exactly like you said, Ratan is someone who feels kind of trapped in the world he is in.
Yeah.
Talking about the mother also constantly feeds him that, you're meant for bigger things, or tu to Katrina se shaadi kar le, or something like that. So yeah, that constant struggle inside Ratan that, I'm meant for bigger things and I can absolutely, deliver whenever I get the chance. And when he gets the chance and how he, sort of derails the whole thing with going with his personal interest and, his greed or whatever, that made him much more human to me than anything else. Otherwise, he would have been just a police officer, और मैं वतन के लिए काम करूंगा और उसके लिए, but the fact that there is something inside him which says, okay, if I'm in this kind of a setting, I'm not dealing with all these saints here, so maybe I can also have a piece of the pie, and it's just, and live my life how I thought.
And at points it's funny when he says 3,000 rupees leke main kya kaam chala raha hu.
Yeah.
And he's counting the money that he gets. It's hilarious. It's like a traffic cop in Bombay who suddenly says, I deserve better things. So Manish, when are you going to direct?
Ooh.
You have such a fine sensibility of motion picture making. You're producing all these wonderful films. When are you going to take on that baton?
I don't know. That's been my dream part since the age of 19,
Wow.
20, and but I guess it's your life has your own path. So if this has happened, that will happen too.
But you're not going to put a time frame on it and say, here, now.
I've tried that. I've actually written a script, and 2 scripts actually. One on partition, and one was a musical. And both the times it didn't happen. So I think I don't want to put it a time frame. I think it's just one day will be like announced I'm doing this film. So I think that's what it is.
My last question is to you, Tisca. It's about the camera work. It's quite lovely because he shoots nature when
Vidushi.
it's a she.
Yeah.
No power. And so beautifully so, especially when Radhika is going out in the garden and in the forest. And then the cities itself. I don't know where you shot. Did you shoot in Lucknow? Did you shoot
Dehradun.
Dehradun? You know, the city itself is so nicely done. So a little bit about that, about the cinematography.
I think what changed when before Manish was producing it, there was an idea of a very typical small town India. When Manish agreed to produce the film, I went through a change in my head and my heart, thinking that, okay, Manish Malhotra is the producer. This can't be one regular Indian chota town. So, you know, then it started from I think October is when we sort of, started working towards the film together. We started prep in March. By then, some ideas started coming and I started discussing it with Manish and saying that, you know, while she is from a simple family and a simple background, this can't be one traditional this thing. So, uske ghar mein kuch refinement hai. You know, like there's proper cups, there's those glass cupboards, there's, you know, certain kind of things that are, certain kind of lighting, because she's particular. Like the mats are cane, they're all earthy, organic. So we went into the idea of, you know, she's using brass in that, and she's using earthenware ke bartan and things like that. So everything had to have a certain finessing to it, and I think that came to my mind because Manish was producing. Otherwise, I would have probably gone ahead with, you know, one basic standard Indian template. But this is what happened to me as a side thing कि अब इसको कुछ elevate होना चाहिए, because that would make it, you know, if I may, that slightly remnants of a British kind of जो India में slightly, very slightly that kind of an idea, just a jhalak of that, but at the same time keeping it something which is very organic, because she would not, Smita would never use something which is not eco-friendly.
So that's your brief to your production designer, to your cinematographer, everybody. To
And
keep
my
that
constant
ethos.
messages, like every day to discover, like open the frame up, shoot the plant, shoot the outdoor, let's do some unusual shots.
A lot of the day I didn't make it to shoot is when Manish actually shot one particular set of sequences, which was
he did.
beautiful.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Guys, 12th of December on Z5. It's called Saali Mohabbat. It's directed by Tisca. It's produced by Manish and Jyoti, Geo Studios, and of course it stars the excellent Radhika and the brilliant Divyendu. Please go give the film a lot of love. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
1 World, your station.